The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM. The Living Room, casual conversations on serious topics.
You look a little bit worried there, Cardo.
Yeah, I just trying to figure out if to put away my beef pie or not now.
Oh, okay.
It's on camera.
So let's first and foremost kick this off the way that we always do. Let me make sure. Right, cool. Must welcome you all. You're locked onto the True Nation station WACK 90.1 FM. And let's kick off the program as we always do. What's all this? That's my headphones. Oh. First and foremost.
I ain't shock here, Aaron.
Yeah. First and foremost, you must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, we must welcome you to a live edition of The Living Room with yours truly, DJ Aaron 868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code, alongside my bro with no fro but a lot of flow.
Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage on the global stage.
And you're locked onto the True Nation station, WAC.
Here we are.
Culture crazy.
Right.
Actually, no, I was going to do something different with that.
Oh,
You're locked
okay.
onto the True Nation station, WAC, where we promote culture around the clock.
Culture around the clock.
Culture around the clock. I'm trying it. Hopefully Kenny hear it and he like it and he say we could go ahead.
That's a big hope.
Yeah, boy. To get Kenny to like
To like
anything.
something? Right.
It's 6:01 p.m. What going on? What happened?
No, sir. I just...
I should have drank some water after that beef pie. Right?
I no comment, you know. I didn't say anything.
I really should have drank some water after that beef pie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro.
Alright, and mind your business.
Yeah. Right? Ricardo, we have a guest in studio today, but he's no stranger to the living room. He has my favorite segment name ever. WTF. What the Franz? So this evening we welcome inside with us Mr. Franz Gillezeau.
What the Franz is this?
I get scared enough.
This man voice.
I get immediately scared the one time there.
Serious, I nearly sit up straight and make sure my homework done everything, you know.
Good. That's the effect. That's the effect we want.
So before we go any further, we have not had an episode in a couple weeks due to Carnival. So I have to take this opportunity to ask both of you gentlemen, not where's the scene, not where's the gist physicist, not where's the word hummingbird. I ask you, how are you?
France beat my tit. So I am in a state of productivity right now.
Right.
Pretty much every day for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be in one setting, which is working.
Right.
Right. It's not a bad thing. I have an objective that I would like to meet. I'm going to dedicate the time, the energy, the resources to meeting that objective. But to be honest with you, the days blurring one into another, because in my mind, this season is about meeting that objective.
Yeah.
God willing, when I do so in about 2 weeks' time, I could stop, rest, recover, and reassess. And hopefully reschedule, because in my mind, all I am right now is trying to finish that project.
So you are the project.
I wouldn't say I am the project. I'm just saying that I'm trying to finish the project.
Okay.
So that's how I am.
So the project consumes you.
I know it is not consuming me either, you know. Don't get tired. There's a... I wouldn't say volunteer, but I've thrown myself into this with a passion. But if
Right.
it's anything, I'm consuming this project.
Okay, so is the project a beef pie?
Nah, if it was a beef pie, I'd have finished it a long time.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Yeah. So working hard. Working hard.
All right, cool. And Franz, how about you?
I am really very good, honestly. As you mentioned, Carnival, I had a pretty good Carnival, which helped me get to this really good place. Dread Carnival was a beautiful experience. Especially, and I did some writing on the mindset I was in last year, Juve, and immediately after that, I had to go back to my therapist because I just wasn't in a good headspace. But man, the difference that a year has made, it was life affirming. Was this Carnival for me? So I real good. How are you?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
No, it's not loaded. It's just straightforward.
No, it actually is loaded. Professionally, I am content. I had a goal that I shouldn't say a goal. I had a dream, how much ever years ago, that one day my voice would be a voice you would hear on Panorama and the Marsh Granite. And this is the second day I've achieved that dream.
Yeah.
So professionally, I'm great. I'm on cloud 9. Physically, on the other hand, the sunburn is now catching up to me.
The dust.
The dust, oh my gosh, that is terrible. And the fact that I am not physically where I would like to be is also catching up to me as well. So the effects of all the work has taken its physical toll, not just on the wear and tear on my body, but also on the inability to keep up with a workout schedule.
Right, yeah.
So, professionally, great. Physically, not where I want to be. Emotionally, my heart is content.
That is a comprehensive response.
Yes.
I want to change my answer.
Go ahead.
No. Good, yeah, but better than that. Anyway,
Nah, that dust, boy.
Nah, that dust, yeah, that
I
dust,
feel
yeah,
like
man.
I've had a mild asthma attack for 2 weeks straight. It's rough.
this is the first time in my life I could relate to what sinus issues might be.
Mm-hmm.
Like I found a tension, and I was like, wait, what's going on here? And I was like, wait, did people live with this? And
We
have
do.
to. This it is ridiculous. I want to apologize to everybody who does do the and grang, right? The grang snork.
Yeah.
I did not understand the need to do so, but I'm thanking God for health in this iteration of it. I'm grateful to be able to sit down with brethren, brothers, friends, and have a conversation, because I'll be honest with you, the space that exists out there don't really allow for it as much as we need it. And for 3 men to sit down and literally say, well, boy, I kind of over my head in a project. You know, I was in a bad space and a better one this year. And boy, even though I'm achieving what I want to achieve, there are things that I still need to focus on.
Yeah, real talk.
Where we would have heard that when we were coming up.
No way.
No way.
So yeah, I'm grateful. So that's my new answer.
As a brother top Ricardo, I must continue to commend, and this is we're not tooting our own horn here, but we have continuously clamored for a space where men could be vulnerable with each other, a space where men could come and have conversations with each other. And inside the living room, we have accomplished that. But what I'm realizing more and more is that our concept of what the living room is expanding. And men are creating their own spaces, be it at the counter bar restaurant, by the counter bar, in the car on the drive home in the traffic that is take 3 hours to get you from Port of Spain to Sando.
It's a whole other issue.
Right? Men have created their safe spaces in places that are accommodating to them. And to the men that are doing that, we applaud you.
I hate to be this guy, but I would not be me if I was not this guy. What's this Ajala White? Is this Firefly White or what's going on in the
Yes,
background?
it is Firefly, yeah.
So say, well, what haunting melody is this? This nostalgia. That, when this playing late in the night is because the station about to sign off.
Yep, it's signing off, correct, yeah.
Wow. Hey, well done, Aaron. Well done. This man is having a moment, we out here just talking about the importance of men finding spaces. I don't like it. Is
just vibing in the background.
Running wild.
No indication is that the kind of vibe we need.
No, sir.
No, but yeah.
No, sir. But anyway,
No, but really and truly, Franz, I'm happy to know that, as you admitted, you are in a better place than you were last year. And we were talking outside, well, downstairs actually, about being in a better place. And if you want to be in a better place for next year, you need to start now.
You mean better place physically?
No, just in general.
Well, it's always a good time to start now if you want to be in a better place, yeah.
Right? But specifically, as they brought up the physically part, after Carnival by
like
Ash
I brought
Wednesday,
up the physically part. The man lead me into the physically part.
Yes!
The man bait me with it and then say, well, as you bring that up.
Yeah, Captain Segway, boy. All right.
Yeah,
right?
Well done, sir.
Not a problem. That's what I'm here for.
That's the authority I want to see you function with.
Right? So, with that being said, there was a post that came out, but a post that we all would have sawn. See what I did there? That we all would have sawn that post. About we're not gonna give the individual any more. I don't want to say attention because we're gonna discuss the post, but we don't want to shine any more light on who the individual is.
All right.
We're just gonna speak about the fact that Franz, as a trainer, someone certified in Taekwondo, someone certified in deep voice tactics that could intimidate a room.
Stop it before it starts, yes?
Just gas up, yes.
Yeah.
No, Franz, your voice brings a level of authority with it.
No, glad to hear that.
Especially juxtaposed next to Ajala.
This song almost done, oh gosh.
Anybody else? So the timing of that. Anyway, listen. This is me actively listening.
Right? Franz, talk to us. If you want, they just start with the physical aspect first in terms of that. If you want to get in shape for Carnival 2025, when do you need to start?
No. Well, when I say no, after the previous Carnival, which is Carnival 2024, just wrapped up, you recover, you catch yourself, you let your sunburn settle down, jump in the gym Monday again.
All right.
Have some goals. But we could preface all of this by shining light on the topic that you brought up without necessarily discussing the individual. The idea of body standards for the road, I mean, might as well just jump straight into it, is asinine. There's the road will receive whatever body you have at the time. Whatever body you put on the road is body for the road.
And I'm going to say, I think the only standard it should have is that you should have a body.
Yeah, that's it. And you go and you play your mass, and don't let anybody tell you any different. Now, if you decide you want to have a certain frame to go on the road with, or you want to be healthier to be able to play mass better, because there's loads of issues that come with being overweight and tripping down the street for 2 days straight, right? If you decide for yourself that that's what you want to do and you want to have a healthier frame going into Carnival, you start now. You don't start 2 weeks before. You don't start in band launch season. You start one time, and you give yourself more time to achieve your goals, and then you don't have to resort to unhealthy methods that a lot of people unfortunately resort to.
I had a question, but save that for later now. Because you're talking about, as a matter of fact, no, it'll fit in now. Is intermittent fasting an unhealthy method or a healthy method?
It depends on how you work that into your life. Like, my brother is very big on intermittent fasting, and it worked for him unbelievably well. I sort of fell into, I probably don't practice intermittent fasting the way, like the textbook version of it, but when I train in the morning, I don't eat before 10, 11 o'clock that day, because when I wake up, I'll have a cup of coffee, and then I'll train within an hour, hour and a half, and that session could be an hour, hour and a half by itself, and then I bathe, and then I eat. So I almost don't eat till lunchtime.
Okay.
When I train in the morning.
Okay.
It just really depends on your schedule and the way you can work it into your life. I shouldn't say all, most diets work, but the problem with a super restrictive diet or something like intermittent fasting is how sustainable it is for you as an individual. Anything that's too restrictive, you will achieve your goal and then say, fire bun, I'm going back to my life, and you will just gain back all the weight and even more, most likely. So I don't ascribe to any diet in particular. I eat sensibly for my age, my size, my conditioning, the way I train myself as well, and that's it. But I also, I drink alcohol, I eat burgers. We now come from the bakery. I would indulge in one of them pies if I hadn't just eaten, you know what I mean? I also allow myself quote unquote cheat meals, but it's not cheat meals because it's how I eat. I just train like a monster. But the diets, they work, but they, depending on the sustainability of them, they're not gonna work long term. You have to find a way to manage your lifestyle to meet your goals.
So it's about balance.
Everything is about balance. Thanos would approve.
So one bad habit chicken in one hand and a lamb gyro in the other.
That is not balance. That is like way off on one side. But I understand the pun you're trying to make, like the joke, but no.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Remember he worked plenty this season too. So
all right, that was his life for the last 2 weeks straight.
2 weeks? Is that 6 weeks?
No.
6 weeks.
No wonder there's some dissatisfaction. But I'm not one to talk. The bread van has actually slowed down and wait to see if I coming outside.
Hey, bread is life for us. Don't let anybody tell you off of bread, please. I cannot survive without bread.
Franz Gillezeau. That's the gospel according to Franz.
Correct. Bread is life.
Speaking of which, I know the bridal baker. Go and start back baking. But
Hey.
Just quiet plug for who know.
Yeah. For who know.
Yeah. But I've noticed recently. Now you mentioned dieting. You mentioned the efficacy. You mentioned the sustainability of such. You mentioned unhealthy practices. I know a lot of people who jump on these teas and detoxes and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to talk about tea right now. I want to talk about juice.
Mm-hmm.
Because the perpetrator of the post is an advocate for supplementing your workouts aggressively.
Oh, that kind of juice.
Yeah.
Right. The juicy vitamins, you mean?
Yeah.
Gay.
The kind of juice that will get you the results.
Well, we could stop, speaking in parables. You're talking steroids.
Yeah,
anabolic steroids.
Right.
So the other issue, I took several issues with the individual's post. Mm-hmm. One is it started with body shaming and it ended by trying to segue into health. But aesthetics has nothing to do with health, and health nothing to do with aesthetics, right? Aesthetics can be a byproduct of living a really healthy lifestyle, but it's not, they don't necessarily go hand in hand. Also, yes, from what I'm told, he's a purveyor of steroids, which by themselves are a very unhealthy product. And they are performance enhancing. They are for performance. They are not for health. They are not for fitness.
Right.
And cannot be confused as such. So that's the second issue that I took, is like, you're not looking at this from a health standpoint at all.
Right.
And then, he's also a purveyor of normal supplements, like everything else, which, the supplement industry is sort of designed to make you feel bad about yourself anyway, so you would buy their products. And I know other people in the local supplement industry, and none of them are like this individual.
Right.
None of them would resort to body shaming and that kind of thing to get customers. But the industry on a whole, I'm saying, is, marketing is fair based there. What if I don't look as good as the other person? And so, buy my stuff and you will.
Right.
So nothing about the post was remotely health related, as he tried to eventually cover it up with.
Now, in the interest of a little health related conversation, there are admittedly consequences to taking on this type of activity, that being on the road for those 2 days, and maybe even the events leading up to being on the road. There's a type of conditioning that is required. You did mention it is unhealthy to just jump out of the cold with you, depending on your state of fitness, and then you're chipping on the road for the whole 2 days. Yes, we know about the shin splits and the ankles hurting for days afterwards and that type of thing. But those are acute symptoms of something that we generally have an issue with in Trinidad and Tobago. We have a lot of chronic lifestyle related issues.
We do.
Right. In terms of not leveraging how you're looking at costume as the reason to get somebody interested in maybe joining a gym or looking for a trainer that could work for them. Give us one or two of the reasons that I, in my alrightish condition, could say, even though my objective is not the road Monday and Tuesday, maybe I should still look for the support, look for the space. Why should I take an interest in my health and my fitness otherwise?
Well, how long you feel like living for? As long as you can.
That's a very
morbid question.
This man just cut straight to it,
Well, I mean, how long do you feel like living for? And then, while you're thinking about that, how much life do you want in the years that you live in?
Right.
So, exercise, particularly resistance training, cardiovascular training, and a sensible diet will extend the years of your life, and it will improve the life of your years. So, a simple thing like, I remember a year I played mass. I've never been especially overweight. I think at my heaviest I was like 180 pounds. That year, this might have been 20 years ago, I played mass. The Wednesday, I was so mashed up. My hips were hurting, my knees were hurting. Like I said, I'd never been that weight before. And I couldn't believe it. Felt like I had gravel in my hips. The next year, I had just kind of so happened to turn things around fitness-wise. I lost 20 pounds and never found them back. And Ash Wednesday, the next year, I could have run out on the road and play mass again. The change was incredible. But that's just Carnival. I've had clients who they've been with me for 3 to 6 months, and my very first client, he forgot something upstairs and he just got up and went upstairs and got it and came back down. 3 months before, he would not have done that because it would have been too much effort.
Right.
So simple little things like that, like you have the energy to go upstairs and get something that you need and come back down when you feel like it, is a change that 3 months in the gym could make for your life. You extrapolate that over the course of years, and you could be playing with your great grandkids, on a beach.
Right. I love the fact that you mentioned a nice quality of life indicator. One, being able to go upstairs without having to plan for it and tell somebody on the phone, hold on, because you literally cannot walk upstairs and talk at the same time. And then again, with the third quality of life indicator, the fact that you might be able to play with your great grands.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about being able to walk your kids down the aisle or see them in graduation. We're talking about the possibility of seeing your offspring have offspring. Have offspring,
potentially, depending on, several lifestyle factors. But yeah.
Right. I see we catch Aaron in pensive mode here. I like when this happens to him, right? He's just give him a 10 or 12 minutes.
Just drift forward to the frame a little bit.
Because he marinated now. He lost in the sauce like a meatball right now. And that's alright too, because we want the conversation to hit somebody in a space where they sit down and think about it.
Yeah, when you frame it that way, right? Because when we talk about lifestyle diseases, non-communicable diseases, heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, obesity, all of which are, in my opinion, and that of many others, out of control in Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
You're talking about things that affect people's lives, the length of their lives, the years, the life within the years of their life. Unnecessarily, these are choices that you make for the most part, and you don't have to. You can you make healthier choices. Not just, I shouldn't diminish it like that. You make healthier choices, you live better, you live longer. Period.
Before Aaron warm back up and come back in, I just want to point out to anybody who's utilized our public healthcare knows the challenge when you see clinic days come up. Right? Once you have to use a public clinic is when you realize just how many people in Trinidad and Tobago have some of these NCDs, these non-communicable diseases. You talking about urology days and days where anybody who's utilized the system understands how many people come in, how long it takes to get an appointment, etc. The wait times in the hospital, the wait times for doctors and nurses to be able to attend to you. A lot of it is because they're preoccupied with a lot of things that ultimately, even if not preventable, you could still mitigate them.
They're ultimately preventable in most cases, but even if they get to the point where you have to be treated for it, you can mitigate it, you can make it better. They are definitely treatable.
Yeah.
And you're right, it's a massive burden on healthcare, and it creates unnecessary expense for the government, it creates unnecessary wait times for the rest of us, and it's preventable. Sensible diet, good workout plans, and you add years to your life and life to your years. You ready for us there, Aaron? You're real quiet there, boy. Talk now.
Alright. I don't know what you want someone to come in and say. But as somebody who would have embarked on such a journey last year,
that's what I wanted you to come in and say.
Right?
Talk your talk.
I
beat him back, you see?
Yeah, boy. It's called a rebeat.
Wow.
Jesus,
right.
Really and truly, I remember, I think it was 2022. Yeah, walking up the stairs home used to be a bit of a challenge to me. And as you mentioned, walking up the stairs, that's where it kind of hit home. And I made the decision then that, I'm not taking this anymore. I'm going to turn my lifestyle around. Now, admittedly, I will also say that I fell off that journey. Because to be consistent in the gym requires not just the level of discipline to go to the gym, it requires a level of financial discipline as well. Because gym fees, or if you have a personal trainer, it ain't cheap.
Well, no, personal trainers are not cheap. And gym fees just went up.
Right.
So yeah, you're not wrong.
So the financial responsibility that ties along with the actual responsibility of the workouts, yes, it has to go hand in hand. And sometimes it's hard because just how gym fees went up and personal trainer fees probably higher already, the cost of living going up too.
Yeah, but Iran, wait till my minimum wage went up the other day. Horse is $20.50 hour, dog. You can't go to the gym on that?
Yeah, but when you're $20.50 an hour and your rent is $3,000 a month, let him maths. Anyhow.
Yeah, no, that was me just being it's a bit of satire.
Absolutely facetious.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
I know that. Right?
I could tell you that the government road free though. And you could go and walk and run on it.
Well, and I was not going to say...
The ground right there, you could do squats on it, you could do push-ups on it.
No.
If you find an overhead bar, you could do pull-ups. Or you could do negatives. The tank stand outside, Brad. I kept myself in shape with a tank stand for 2 years.
I fed up tell people if it wasn't for gas tank and broomstick when I was young coming up and I didn't have weights.
Yeah.
What you tell them now?
So where do you put the gas tank on a broomstick?
Well, it would depend. If it's a 2 full gas tank on a broomstick, you have to be very, very confident in that broomstick.
In the broomstick, yeah.
But no, I tell people it's gas tank and bucket of water, those types of things. That was how I used to train. I think anybody who know me by now know I would have trained on a mango tree with some old tires strung up on a rope. It's not impossible to do a home workout that is effective and safe.
And you know what else? The same Netflix is like to sit down on your couch and watch for much of hours that it had to ask you if you're still watching. It have workout programs on Netflix too.
I've heard of them.
Really?
I have not tried them as yet.
I've not heard of them.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah. I think Netflix are now trying to capitalize on the fact that we rather you on the treadmill watching us
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, because if you're like their life, you're like their subscription.
That's true.
Capitalism.
Capitalism.
Start to put it across like that, But really and truly, and I like the fact you spoke about the savannah being open there, France. Because I'm sure if when I leave here, if I go down by Skinner Park, second class grounds, where you went and parked for Fiesta and for Panorama and thing, if you don't know what I'm talking about. The downturn in the population is significant from what it used to be 3 weeks ago.
In terms of the people making a little evening laps and that type of thing?
Yeah.
You might be surprised there. I just drove past 100 Steps on Alexander Road on my way here, and I was pleasantly surprised with the amount of people I saw there. So there will always be a downturn, but because we're coming out of Carnival and then people still trying to achieve their New Year's resolutions, they haven't fallen off that wagon yet. There will still be that wave still cresting. So, good on those folks keeping it going.
Right? But wake up in the morning, and I always say this, when I started, I couldn't do a single push-up.
I distinctly remember that being an indicator that, Carter, you need to have a conversation with Aaron about what he wants for the rest of his life. Because I'm just using that to point out to people. I'm not talking about not being able to do a push-up as being a defining moment or factor. What I'm saying is being able to do a certain amount of push-ups, particularly for a man at a certain age, is normally a good indicator whether or not you're going to have heart issues, cardiac issues in the future. Is a base level indicator of fitness.
That number is what, 40?
It depends
40
on,
push-ups? Probably not.
yeah, that song.
Nah, 40 is decent. It's a decent amount of push-ups. But I mean, you should be able to do a certain amount of push-ups. It's an indicator of upper body strength.
Yeah.
Just like squats will be an indicator of lower body strength. So yeah, there would be a bare minimum of push-ups, squats, bench press, distance walked on a treadmill that would give you an indicator as to potential mortality.
Right, so I remember when you started with, I can't even do a push-up, and I was like, bro, you gotta work on that.
No, but again, in defense of myself, it was because of a shoulder injury.
That was a football injury.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the reason why I couldn't do push-ups.
Okay, well that's very different from not having the upper body strength to do it.
Is
there a
just out of
caveat?
curiosity, how many you could have do before the injury?
About 25 or 30.
All right, well, you know what? I will allow you to.
So that's very different. Not being able to do it from an injury is not
No,
nearly
but
as indicative of.
But as I was saying, the injury was a few years ago. So when I started the journey, and push-ups was part of the workout, I used to watch my trainer like, Dan, you are crazy. You have to be mad.
Do it on your knees.
And that was his first answer. My
Do it
trainer,
on your knees.
honestly, as much as I'm thankful for him, he was one of the most uncompromising people when it came to training. But you know what? I'm thankful for that.
You know what happens when you compromise as a trainer?
You don't get results.
That's right.
But now, I could push my 40 or 50 easy.
So every carnival you
No.
doing push-ups for Peters?
No, I didn't even do that.
I really rate that innovation.
No, it's real, but I don't know.
And this year, I think that Amanda told you to do squats.
Squats too, yeah.
Serious? I could go then.
Yeah.
I could.
Yeah, right. But so you're beginning mariachi at all, or you're staying out of that? Or you didn't want to call his name, or you
Didn't
follow?
want to. No, we didn't fall out. I don't fall out with anybody.
It would be, I think I could do better than this. My brother's also a trainer. Big up Lando.
Big up Lando.
Right. Just want to point out that, you probably know somebody in your space who has taken a vested interest in your health, or at least in health generally. Ask a question. If you don't know somebody personally, there are a lot of options available to you out there in terms of finding out what steps you could take to preserve, to enhance your health. If I'm not mistaken, one of the things I've seen mariachi do is keep training a group of, I don't want to call them
Elderly men.
All right, cool. I was going to say more mature members, but It was in is that it's older gents, and it's never really too late. Is it ever too late to start?
It's never too late to start. In fact, the older you get, the more important it is that you do start, because you'll preserve bone health and muscle strength and tendon strength and that kind of thing as you age.
But circulation and thing is one of these things. I benefit
Circulation,
from.
yeah, brain health, heart health, lung health. If you reach, so these mature gentlemen, if this is their first foray into fitness, then good on them. Every time they go out, they're extending their life and they're improving the life within those years.
Yeah, but I just want to point out, right, when we realized that price is a factor, there was an option: train home with what available to you. Home workouts, believe it or not, are a huge thing. If you look for the videos on YouTube, or you could even request a one-time deal with a trainer where, hey, can you prepare a plan for me that I could use at my convenience? I'm not sure how it does work, but not having finances is one thing. Not having time is one of the issues that would next come, particularly if you're people who need, I'm still working, I'm still, developing my career and building a family and pursuing education, etc., etc., etc. Time. How much time a day do I need to work out to qualify, to start this journey or to reach a point where I'm doing better than nothing?
Half hour to 45 minutes minimum. I mean, if you depend on the workout you're doing, if it's real intense, 25 minutes. But you're really not gonna get much bang for buck for much less than 45 minutes. Again, depending on the workout. And most people could find 45 minutes in their day. I mean, you do have to factor in then, you go into the gym, is the time to and from the gym, that kind of thing, and then changing and showering and all of that kind of stuff. But workout wise, 45 minutes is a nice tight in out, get everything done workout 3-4 times a week, you're good to go. Basically
3-4 times
yes
a week.
sir, it's not a one a day kind of thing.
45 minutes 3 or 4 times a week. That sound about like the length of a Marvel movie or 3 episodes or something on Netflix. What I'm saying is, it's not like the time don't exist.
Yeah, it's not that you're not doing anything anyway. And this is second or third time Netflix has come up. And another issue that I mean globally is a problem is actually what we're doing right now, which is sitting down.
Yeah.
And people just sit too much, and that by itself, I forget the word that they used, if it was a crisis or a pandemic or something hyperbolic like that.
All right.
But sitting is a health problem. People sit for hours at work, and then they sit for hours at home, and then they lie down for hours in bed, and they don't move much. And your heart is going to get weaker, your breathing muscles are going to get weaker, your tendons are going to get tighter, your muscles are going to get weaker, your bones are going to get weaker. So you need to move. The human body was made to move. Our body is an amalgamation of every awesome thing that every other animal can do. We can run and jump and climb and swim and fly if we jump real high. But we can do everything that every other animal on earth can possibly do. So do it. But do it for fun, do it to work out, don't sit as much, and you'll live longer.
Boom.
Boom.
Aaron, listen, well, I want to apologize for Aaron's relative silence this evening. The man really rock out 2 beef pie, and it looked like
I'm feeling guilty.
he looked like his face is covered in remorse.
I'm feeling guilty, honestly.
That you 2 beef pie?
I am probably gonna have 2 beef burgers when I go home.
Yeah,
2 beef burgers?
I'm definitely getting a ital pie from the restaurant.
So, it's nothing.
But you know what this conversation has done for me? And I want to big up Sec, actually, for starting out a sense of personal responsibility when we had him on a couple of years ago. And I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. And this conversation is giving me reason to be accountable again. When I started when I started making exercise a part of my daily regimen, it was important because of how much time I spent sitting. And I work from home. So it's not like I have to I get up off the bed, I sit behind my desk or I sit on the couch and I do hours and hours and hours of work. I walk around long enough to get something to eat, and then I sit again and do hours and hours of work, and then I lie down to sleep. And I'm like, this cannot cut it. I need sunlight, I need fresh air, I need some mobility. So I started exercising. Fantastic results. And then I hit like one little mental roadblock. I think is, for me, that's normally kicking about 10 weeks in. If I hit 10 weeks of consistent work and I miss at that point, oh man, it's like I unplugged. But the reason I want to start back, have to start back, is because one, I'm doing a lot of work and I'm not moving enough. And secondly, my earring fell last night and I went to the floor to find this earring. And when I got up, my knee was hurting. I am huffing and puffing like a nut cat. Well, I'm old nut cat now.
The old ones, yeah.
Thing. Right? And it just hit me as like, dude, you literally couldn't go down, look for something under the couch and then get back up without feeling literally disjointed. Literally, like I felt my body upset that I moved my joints into positions that they weren't normally going into anymore. And I'm thinking to myself, I had gotten to the point where 100 burpees was life. What happened? It is easy to fall off, but it's also not that hard to just start back. Start or start back. Start over, start fresh, start new, start small. Start something, but start.
Just start.
Just start.
That's it. You don't have to start with 100 burpees, although 100 burpees is life, honestly.
I ain't lied to tell you, when I was like, oh my gosh, I felt alive being able to do things like that.
Yeah, boy. And you don't have to go out to look to try to be Mr. Olympia or anything if you're looking to improve your physique either, but just start. Because if you don't start, you're not going to get anywhere anyway. So just start and see where you reach. Like I was making up, I came across a post I had made 10 years ago on Facebook. And the post was me saying, in the last 2 years, I had taken my fitness to previously unfathomable levels. Because I'd started running. And in the 2 years, I had finished 3 half marathons, 1 fusion, 2 hardcores. It became 3 hardcores. And however many 5Ks and 10Ks. And I don't even like running.
Right.
And I just did it because I wanted to achieve something, right? And then I said, well, now it's time for something that I like. Martial arts, anyone? And the next week, I started Taekwondo. And I was in my 30s. And it's 10 years later, and I'm a 3rd Dan in Taekwondo now. Yes. I'm going to be eligible to grade next year for 4th degree.
Just side kicking all over Carnival pictures.
Just start. But I mean, that was a whim. Right. I was like, man, I feel I'll get a black belt in something, yes. And 10 years later, I am. So just start. And you don't know where you'll reach, Dread. I've traveled the region training and meeting people from Taekwondo, things I would have never done. The running, I have seen parts of this country that I never would have seen if I had not taken up running.
You and Tanika and Lando
and Lando did the fusion, yeah.
Jumping off in the bush for
Tanika nearly fall off the mountain. Lando blew out his knee the first time we did fusion. That was emotional, boy. That was rough. But no, I seen with your brother and all parts of this country that I never would have if I didn't pick up running as a pastime for that little while. And I mean, I'm competitive anyway, so of course I got into competitive running. But just start, pick a pastime, a healthy pursuit, and start and see where it takes you.
I just want to encourage people that no matter what your age is, and yes, admittedly, there might be challenges to you being able to jump out and do 45 minutes in the gym, but nobody does start at the finish line. Well, technically, right? Start.
By definition.
Right? Start. That's all. I don't care if it's you leave the car and you walk to the main road to.
No, but let go even simpler than that. If you drive to work, instead of looking for the park closest to the door to the office, park far from your office door.
Hopefully in a well-lit, still highly visible area.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a better challenge than that. A partner of mine stopped driving to work and started riding to work. No, I mean that's not feasible for everybody if you live in Port of Spain.
I'm not gonna say.
But
if
all
you-
he
if
all
you
he
do-
had to do was ride up the old road because he was working
if
in
you
the
could do
plant.
that. But also, remember, no bicycles allowed on the highway. I just spent that.
Right, as well. Not
Yeah,
not
not
for the
easy.
Port of Spain commute
Yeah,
from San
but that's
Fernando,
okay.
obviously.
No, but we know that.
No
But you know,
livestock and-
sometimes you just have to read and spell. No, yeah, they tell people. Like,
Say sometimes, you know.
yeah, you have to.
Yeah. But yeah,
But-
Aaron, give us your challenges.
Right? Park far from your office door. Every hour, if your job allows, because you know you have some jobs you can't take often breaks and stuff like that. Try to get up from your desk and take a walk.
Yeah.
If it's to the bathroom, you don't have to, not that you're going to the bathroom every time, but take a walk to the bathroom or take a walk back to the car park.
Walk around the building,
if
something
you
like
could.
that.
Unless you're working in the Twin Towers, then you had to make a whole block. What? It might
Even,
work
I
out
mean,
in
no,
your
that's
favor.
that's good.
But then
Alternate,
again, the
yeah.
sun hot and it dusty, so right. But try to take a walk ever so often. Stretch.
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 Right? Oh my gosh.
Definitely stretch.
When you wake up in the morning after you say your prayers, take a little stretch. And you don't have to be complex and try to go into a crab back or anything like that. But just as simple, up on your toes and reach for the ceiling. If you're tall like Franz, you'll reach the ceiling. But if you're short like me,
Tall like Franz, man. I'm average height. What are you talking about?
He just leaned, Aaron. What you doing, man? Yeah, like, so what
Tall
am-
like
what am I-
Franz.
right? But if
Right
you-
now, all my tall partners are like, "What is he
What?
talking about?"
Now, hey, that stretching thing serious. That stretching thing is serious. And again, simple as it is, there are mobility exercises that could show you how far you have to go.
Yeah.
Like literally holding a broomstick, just picking up a broomstick.
I'm trying to bend and touch your toes.
Those simple things, being able to mobility and flexibility exercises. You don't have to come out here and invest in a sit-up bar. I mean, here my sit-up bar, a sit-up bench, and hanging station for pull-ups. You don't have to go wild. You could start with the basics. Can I touch my toes? Can I? Aaron.
Aaron gonna
right.
try and touch
Aaron.
his toes. Straight knees, eh?
Yeah, straight knees.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
You reach. I can see
You
from
make
here.
it?
I get there.
You make it?
Yeah.
Well, it's on
Right.
camera, so you check.
Right, very
Check
good.
the form.
No, but flexibility, mobility,
flexibility, that's your
those
thing.
lack of those things lead to injuries, and injuries lead to more sedentary lifestyles, and sedentary lifestyles are killing people.
Yep.
Honestly,
Yep.
But again, because it's now 6:47 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago, right? And Mr. Desmond is in the building already. I think we after Carnival, so we're back to the big band,
Boom.
right? One of the things for me, and we spoke about it earlier in terms of time, right? You see that commute to Port of Spain if you're working in Port of Spain from San Fernando?
I saw the figures on that. Wasn't there a news report that came out that talked
Yeah.
about how long of their lives they spend in traffic?
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently in Trinidad we spend about a month
I think
In
it's
traffic.
more honestly.
out of the year.
That is insane, boy.
Unbelievable.
Believable,
Right, it is
yeah.
very-
Because that's
it's insane.
Now, for those of you who work Port of Spain and make that commute from San Fernando daily and drive,
Bless your souls.
we understand the rigors that it takes on your body, right? And we know that you're waking up when it's dark and you're reaching back home when it's dark.
spending at least 4 of them hours.
5 at least.
It's just in this
In traffic, right? So we understand that and we understand the rigors that it take on your body. But in the interest of your body, we ask that you try and at least take some time and stretch. Stretch at least. We know it'll be hard for you to come home and say you're going in the gym or whatever it may be. But at least do something basic. And friends, what's the most basic thing? Somebody who has to endure a 5-hour commute on top of a 8 or 9 hour workday.
Well, when you get home, as you just said, reach for the ceiling, reach down, touch your toes, stretch. It will be really difficult for me to describe, but you need to stretch your shoulders, stretch your neck, stretch your hips, stretch your hamstrings, your glutes, because all those things tighten up as you sit in those spaces. If you're gripping the steering wheel, you'll need to stretch your wrists, your forearms, So, but a good full body stretch after hours driving is, I mean, it's standard for me anyway, but I'm so used to moving. If I sit in a car for 2 hours, I get out feeling like trash and I need to stretch everything. So definitely when you get to work, do a light little stretch during the day, stretch when you get back home.
Yeah, well, if I get into a car for 2 minutes, I come out feeling like newborn because I will knock out immediately. Seriously, as soon as I sit down in a running vehicle, I knock out.
So you don't drive me anywhere, right?
Nowhere.
You don't drive you nowhere.
I try to explain to people, there are reasons, But the other thing too, that stretching. I remember Keegan Taylor, Tendachi, right? When he started my self-defense training several years ago, and this was even before I flirted with mixed martial arts with Kerry Grant and these Southern Warriors. He put me through this thing called the a warrior wellness stretching routine, and it would take anywhere between, if you do it just to warm up, 5 to 8 minutes, and literally every joint from head to toe you would put through a very gentle and very basic diagnostic. By the time you finish that, you sweating just because one, your body designed to move, right? So but standing still is actually, being still is a challenge to the human body, and secondly, being still and concentrating your movement. So it was a mental thing, it was a physical thing, and then he actually showed me how you could use that same 5 to 8 minute warm up and cool down as a workout in itself. Sometimes you do it for a half hour, 45 minutes, and when you're done, your body loose. Is a really good active recovery program. Is a nice warm up. But the simple thing about it was no weights, no sort of heavy movement or action. It was literally just stretching.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. You do not know the problems that your body has with movement and flexibility. Lando come home the other day and something he told me, and he was like, you could come off the ground without using your hands? And I'm like, scoff, of course I can. Sit down on the ground, and then it's time to get up without using my hands. And I'm thinking, oh. Right? And that's when I was like, all right, that was a problem. So when I got back into my little routine, and there's a thing, sit down, squat, get up, no hands, holding a plate, whatever it is. But there are simple indicators of how much your fitness could improve. And friends, again, if you could just give us like 1 or 2 pointers so that somebody could come off the program and say, let me see if I could.
Well, I don't want to give people too many things where they might hurt themselves. So if you want to know where you are, the next time you go for a physical, fellas of our age, put yourself through a stress test. Go to your doctor and ask for a stress test, and they will hook you up to all the machines and put you on a treadmill, and they will see where your health is. And that's the safest recommendation I can make, because I don't want to say, let me see how many push-ups you could do, and then somebody strain something, or sit cross-legged on the floor and stand up and somebody roll their ankle.
Right.
So if you really want to go get yourself either stress tested or tested by a personal trainer or something.
So excellent piece of advice. Don't just try thing you see and hear while.
Please don't consult a doctor, or especially if, as we were discussing NCDs before, if you have high blood pressure, heart disease, anything like that, you always want to consult your doctor before you do anything. If you have any injuries, always want to consult your doctor before you start any kind of program, any kind of resistance training, cardiovascular program. They are the ones to advise. It's all well and good for us to sit here and give advice, but it is not tailored individually. And so you as the individual have to seek medical advice before embarking on anything like that.
One quick point or note before I wrap up. Resistance is not about the bands. It's not just about the bands, right?
Not just about the bands, no. Resistance training could be weight training, machines, calisthenics. I mean, body weight is weight. Body weight is resistance. So you don't have to join a gym. Like I'm saying, the ground is there. The government road free. But resistance training builds tendon strength, muscle size, muscle strength, skeletal muscle strength, bone density, that kind of thing. Cardiovascular training helps train the heart and the lungs. the blood flow, that kind of thing. That'll improve brain function, heart function, lung function.
You're saying way too many benefits.
Way too many benefits and practically zero drawbacks.
Aaron, I'm curious though. What is prompting your choice of tracks for the bed this last rounds?
It is now 6:54 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago, and I'd like to remind you, you're locked onto the living room on the True Nation station, WACK 90.1 FM, where we are.
Culture crazy.
You know, I was missing that from the intro, and I meant to say, but where Cardo thing gone? But
But Aaron want to convince Kenny to try out some
the new code thing. Culture on the clock, right?
Yeah.
China.
Kendison, hey, congratulations on a fantastic season, sir.
Yeah. Franz, any closing words? Because Mr. Desmond is up next with the big band.
Closing words. Well, we started talking about the offending post about body standards and whatnot. And first and foremost, I just want to tell everybody, don't let anybody tell you you're not in any kind of shape to go on your road. Go and enjoy yourself. That you need a certain body to go on your road. No. Go and enjoy yourself. And I mean, like I was saying, it could just be the wonderful mental space I was in for Juve and Carnival. I saw nothing but beauty and joy on the road. If anybody was on the road and saw anything other than that, you need to check yourself. If you went on there and said, nah, these people shouldn't be here, you did not see the joy on the road for Carnival, and you need to check yourself because you're a sour human being. Beyond that, work out. Eat sensibly, work out properly, and extend your life. That's it. How I talk.
Sound good? You know what I saw on the road for Juve and Carnival, beside the enjoyment of people?
Tell me.
Potholes.
Oh, look at that, even better. You're getting circuit training right there on the road.
That's good agility training. Just dodging potholes.
Yeah. Make 2 block, you're uphill, you're downhill, you had to scramble to come out, you had to avoid them, you had to jump, you had to sidestep. Ninja warrior thing.
I see potholes every day. I didn't notice them on the road, but I mean, they're there.
I saw them, cause I dropped in one in Portsmouth.
Oh.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, good.
Apparently, I try to remember which area it was, but this a young woman
in Sawa. I know it. Yeah,
listen.
she whole foot ended up in the pothole.
Oh yeah, her whole leg was in the pothole. No, that could have ended very badly, you know.
Right.
She actually got off real lucky.
Hey.
Cardo, talk to me.
This is Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage on the global stage. Thank you for joining us in the living room. Guys, start.
Just start.
Alright? Just start. Okay, the continuing will come after. Just start.
Get the advice.
Get the advice and start. Alright, Franz, thanks for joining us. Guys, remember the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains, so whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe. Yeah, I good. Aaron?
This is yours truly, DJ Aaron 868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code. The most important, everybody's saying the most important thing is to start. For me, I will always say the most important thing is the thought. Without that first thought of understanding where you are, you wouldn't know where you're supposed to be or where you need to go. Self-assess and be aware with where you are. If you're getting trouble getting up after sitting down and watching TV, check yourself. Right? That's as simple as Albert. You can catch me again next week Tuesday alongside Ricardo, same time, same place. We have a very special guest next week who is Dr. Karen Clay. Alright? Yeah. So, Mr. Desmond is up next with the big band. And as Cardo was talking about my weird musical choices, I'm going to play even one. Should I play a weird one, right?
I just want friends to hit me that WTF to close off.
Yeah.
So we out. What? The Franz.
Born around 1974 to a mother named Calypso. Junior appeared to be so much more. Over the years he began